Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of West Covina Traffic Committee meeting, October 15th, 2025. The time is approximately 6:02 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is roll call, so I'll work through that right now. First, Neil Mehta, Assistant City Manager.
Present.
Robert Ortega, CIP Manager.
Present.
And then Mike Krisap, Public Works Supervisor.
Present.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from September 17th, 2025. Are there any questions or comments on those minutes in your binder? If not, I'll entertain a motion and a second.
No questions. All motion.
Thank you, Mike.
I'll second.
Thank you, Robert. Do a quick roll call. Neil Mehta.
Approve.
Robert Ortega.
Approve.
And then Mike Krisap.
Approve.
Thank you. Approve 3-0. New business. Before we get into new business, we have had a request to continue item 4B, which I'll give a quick review here. It was a traffic review conducted at 712 South Fernwood Street. It's adjacent to Fernwood Garden Apartments, and it's dealing with on-street parking. The property manager and some of the residents of the apartments has requested that we continue it to a future meeting, just to allow them some more time to review our findings and then attend that future meeting. So at this time, given the request for a continuance, I'd entertain a motion and a second if there's no questions or comments regarding the request.
No questions. All motion to continue.
Okay, thank you.
Second. Yeah.
So I'll read through. And so this is confirming the continuation of item 4B. Neil Mehta.
Approve.
Robert Ortega.
Approve.
And then Mike Krisap.
Approve.
Okay, so item 4B has been continued to a future date. So thank you for attending tonight, and appreciate your understanding. So we'll get back to new business. Item 4A is a traffic review of West Sunkist Place, east of North Sunkist Avenue. Waste Management staff has requested a traffic review of the current parking conditions along West Sunkist Place, east of North Sunkist Avenue. It was reported that when vehicles park along both sides of the street during waste collection day, the truck is unable to enter the street and provide service. After thorough review of existing field and traffic conditions and per the guidelines in the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, California Vehicle Code, as well as West Covina City Guidelines and Engineering Judgment, a list of options are presented to the Traffic Committee in your report for review and direction. At this time, it's recommended that the Transportation Committee review the report with the city traffic engineer, listen to any public comment, and provide direction. And just for information purposes, from a fiscal impact perspective, the recommended improvements are roughly $9,000 in cost, and that cost is based upon the most recent construction cost information. It may be obviously impacted by cost escalation and other factors. So at this time, Jana Robbins from TransTech will provide us a quick report.
Good evening, commissioners. Okay, this one is on Sunkist Place, east of Sunkist Avenue. Waste Management was saying that this is a very narrow street. If you look at the top page, it's only 22 feet wide. So cars are parking on both sides of the street. One second, we'll get in gear here. Parking on both sides of the street, so they couldn't, the trash truck couldn't make it down the street to get the trash. And it also applies to fire emergency, because if they can't make it, a fire truck couldn't make it either. Right down the street, there's the Northwest College. So some of the cars may be parking there, just for overflow. There's about 6 houses on that block, and they all have driveways, so there's no reason, I mean, there could be a reason why they're parking on the street, but it's unlikely. So we looked at collisions. There were no collisions. We do have some pictures from our field visit. And then our recommendations is to paint red curb with some signage saying no parking on the, we selected the set, it's kind of like the south side of Sunkist if you look at page 3. And then we would need all the way around the cul-de-sac so the trash truck or any larger vehicle could make that turn. Because if they just moved down to here, they wouldn't be able to turn around at the end. Now, an option would be to put it on the other side. Both of them have 2 driveways. Everybody has, there's the one house on the northeast corner, the big house. They have, their driveway is actually on Sunkist. So there's 2 houses on that side. The other side has the driveways, and the south side, as I'm calling it, also has 2 driveways. So that is our recommendation. Now, the difficulty I see is we may just have signage. I don't know. It has a rolled curb. Can we paint the rolled curb red? It's not a standard, curb.
Is it okay if I ask a question? So is this no parking going to be only for the trash day or no parking anytime?
I think it's any time, because if it's only a 22-foot street, you got 8 feet for a guy to park. If both of them are parking on both sides of the street, that's 16 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's only 6 feet travel way in between. So if a fire truck had to get down there, they can't. So I think, it was pointed out, the trash guys pointed it out, but then once we started looking at it, it doesn't have the right of way that any large vehicle, even if it's a Edison or any of those type of phone guys that work on the lines, they can't get down there. Both sides are taken.
If we were to make the other side a red curb, is the number of vehicles that can park on the left side more or less or the same?
It's about the same
Same.
because of the driveways. Yeah, we tried to look at putting it where there's the least amount of driveways so there can be more parking on
Sure.
one side, but it's the same.
And there's been no feedback from the residents? Like, would residents on both sides want no parking?
We didn't, we
'Cause I understand the
haven't
safety
solicited
concern.
it. Yeah.
And then back to your original question, we can paint any curb. Is there something, is there a code or something that says you can't paint?
No.
Yeah, because we could paint any curb. That's not a concern as far as maintenance go, from the maintenance standpoint of it. Yeah, I don't have any further questions.
We could move it to the other side. Right now, most of the cars that when we were there looked like they are parking on the side we have the red curb. So, so we could put it on the other side, but then when we went back, there was parking on both sides, so,
Yeah.
We were thinking the house, there's different ways to look at it. The ones on the south side where we have the red curb now, they do have all kinds of trees lining it, so maybe they wouldn't be bothered by cars parking there. Like the other side is just lawn. So we could move the red curb. We'd still have to put up the cul-de-sac. Either way we go, so.
Is there an option to have staggered parking? So partial red on both sides of the street, and then obviously the curved area would be fully red, but then, just to give some kind of fairness to all 6 homes.
I would anticipate they're all gonna want red.
If it's not their cars, they probably all want red.
Yes.
So, but
My other question, what about the street sweeping signs?
there is one, but it's not right at the corner. It's in about 50 feet. There's one street sweeping sign, because I said, well, maybe we could just stick it on the same pole for that, but cars are parked on Sunkiss, and they kind of park around the curb where they're not supposed to park anyway, so we would want the sign right at the corner, I would think.
At this point, so to take care of the access for the trash truck and obviously emergency vehicles, we make a decision today to do that. If the other residents wanted to do something, they could just come and make the same recommendation and go that route. So
Yeah.
obviously we could just see how that goes. And, that's my thought.
Makes sense.
I agree with that, or just, is it possible to ask them prior to doing any work?
Yeah, we could send a notice or something out to the residents. Now, it may come back that they all want red, so then, but yeah, we could always send that notice out.
Okay.
But we do need it pretty quickly done. This is one of those because trash can't get down there.
Correct.
So we don't want to wait a month or something, so it would have to be, one of those ASAP, and then,
So I think we should move forward with Mike's recommendation, is still proceed with this, and if anyone wants the other side painted, then we can assess that at that time. Just that we need to do.
I mean, you could
something.
probably, to save in cost, just in case one side wants it more than the other, you do the signs first and then wait on the red, I don't know. Just to save.
Sorry. Is there a way to do a temporary, no parking, and then see what the feedback is from that? From the temporary no parking on either, or I would say the left side. Definitely no parking on the curved, but is there a way to do a temporary no parking on the proposed red area to see what the feedback is?
Well, normally, anything temporary, they put it on like a paper, on a sawhorse or whatever. I haven't seen temporary that's a permanent sign.
Correct, right. So I understand what you're suggesting and appreciate it. It makes a lot of sense. But in this case, I think it's not appropriate only because the intent is not for temporary parking restrictions. It would be full 24 hours, 7 days a week. And so they really need to be posted in a permanent manner.
Got it.
And we would have to relocate them if we needed to.
In this case, because of the services provided, I agree. I think it has to be done right away, and obviously the discussion of which side of the street, but I do think it will play itself out. Labor-wise, from the maintenance department side, coming back and painting the other 300 feet is, it's not a big issue. I think this is something we can address, take care of, get the service for the trash trucks, and make sure if there is an emergency, get there quickly, so.
I agree with that.
Okay. Any further comments or questions at this point?
No questions.
Do you want to keep it on that side or move it to the other side?
I think keep it as it is,
Yes.
as
Okay.
exhibit.
So if nothing further, if I could have a motion and a second, as recommended, we'll move forward.
I'll motion it.
And I'll second.
All right, thank you. So I'll do a quick roll call. Neil Meta,
Approve?
thank you. Robert Ortega,
Approve.
thanks. Mike Crissa,
Approved.
thank you. So that is approved, 3-0. We continued item 4B until a future date, so I'll move on to item 4C. Traffic review of Francisquito Avenue between Puente Avenue and Orange Avenue. Residents have requested a traffic review of the existing conditions along the segments of Francisquito Avenue between Puente and Orange. The resident explained that they often hear collisions involving vehicles hitting parked cars, as well as complaints of speeding. The resident is requesting an installation of a stop sign or a crosswalk along the street. After a thorough review of existing field and traffic conditions and per the guidelines in the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, Vehicle Code West Covina's city guidelines and engineering judgment. A list of options is presented to the traffic committee for review and direction in your handouts. It's recommended that the transportation committee review the report with the city traffic engineer, listen to public comment, and provide direction. And the initial fiscal impact for the recommendations, the cost is estimated at approximately $15,000. And again, that cost is based upon, it could possibly be impacted in the future by cost escalation and other factors. And once again, we'll have a presentation by Janet Robbins of TransTech at this time.
Thank you. This one, a resident has requested the city, as Michael said, for traffic calming along Francisquito Avenue. This one has a little different complexion, is because the south side of the street, if we assume Francisquito is east-west, and then the south side is LA County, and then there is portions that are City of Baldwin Park. So it has kind of a patch. You can see in our exhibit what the boundaries are. So the resident did request a stop sign or a crosswalk across Francisquito to slow traffic. And so we did take a look at it. As we all know, stop signs are for right-of-way, not to slow speed. And then, you know, Francisquito has 18,000 cars on it. So it's not one that we really looked at for putting a mid-block crosswalk. So we did look at other areas. Francisquito has a posted speed limit of 40 on the north side. We did break it up in two segments because it went from Puente all the way to Orange. So we put it into two segments. So the first segment is Puente to Willow. And they're both, Puente and Willow are larger streets, so they have signals. The other streets are in the middle. Francisquito has 24,000 ADT on it with a posted speed limit of 40, with the 85th percentile is 41. So at this time, it's just the 85th was just 1 mile per hour above the speed limit. The street width, each one has 2 lanes each direction, and there is a frontage road on the north side, so that kind of takes care of some of the side streets. Maryland doesn't connect with Francisquito, it has a frontage road. Siesta does connect, has a driveway. But on there, it has existing red curb on both sides for line of sight. We looked at collisions. There were some collisions in this segment. There was, on Francisquito itself, at Siesta, there was 13 collisions, and 9 were true, it hit parked cars. Willow had 1 and Puente had 4 collisions. You can see that in the table we included. Then the average daily traffic was shown, 24,000. We did look at Siesta just for because it was requested that we look at a stop sign. Siesta, it's the only one that connects to Francisquito. So it has a total of 694 vehicles per day. So it would not meet warrants for a always stop at that one. The speed limit, that has the 85th at 41 for Francisquito, and Siesta is 25, and the 85th is 26. Looking at the speed data that was collected, 94% of the cars were going less than 45 miles per hour. 6% of the cars over a 24-hour period, so not in one block, a 24-hour period, were going between 45 and 54. So there was a few speeders, but 6% out of that 24,000. We did go and visit, and you can see that it's pretty heavily parked. And there is commercial along on the ends of this segment. So based on, so we did divide up the recommendations as well. So based on this one, we felt that it would be, qualify for a level 1 or level 2, some light measures, because it really didn't show right now that there was a big speeding problem. So what we are suggesting is, when we looked at Maryland and Siesta, there's no stop signs on there. So to put the stop sign and a stop bar and the stop pavement legend on Siesta. And then Maryland, Siesta would have cross traffic does not stop, and Maryland. Then refresh the existing red curb at Francisquito and Siesta. That's out on Francisquito, so the line of sight remains. And then also at Siesta, there's a keep clear pavement legend, which needs to be refreshed. And then put next to the 40 mile per hour speed limit sign, a 40 mile per hour pavement legend. So do you want to just go into the second segment and then vote, or you want to do each segment separate?
Find both segments together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the next segment is Willow to Orange. Now this one's same, this one, the whole southern side is in LA County, but I think it starts at the curb, because when we looked, it kind of goes, there's this business at Willow and Francisquito on the southeast corner. It has a posted speed of 35 miles per hour, which we looked on the LA County Assessor's map, so that is in West Covina. So looking at our speed survey for West Covina, it has it at 40. So it should be 40, so I know it's kind of, boosting it up, but the speed limit, we should remove that and put a 40 in there, because that's what our citywide speed survey has it as, to be consistent. At first, we thought maybe LA County had a different speed limit, but that's in West Covina, so we need to change that. So this segment, the ADT on Francisquito is a little bit less, it was 21,000. And it also had a 85th percentile speed of 41 miles per hour.
To change it to 40?
We have a citywide speed survey. So that was adopted by council in 2017. So that is what's legally binding on what is posted out there. So we need to be, what was approved, we need to have that posted until it goes back again and another thing goes through city and is approved for a lower or a different speed limit.
I see.
We looked at, this one also, we looked at collisions. There weren't as many collisions. There was 3 at Willow, which is the signal, 2 at Rama, and 2 at Orange. And most of these were broadside or rear end on Francisquito itself. Like I said, we looked at Rama for always stop, but it has a total ADT of 967 for all day, so it would not be a candidate for always stop, even if we wanted to. I already mentioned the 85th percentile. We have pictures, and this one has a lot of no parking areas along this segment. So this one, as I mentioned, the speed limit sign remove and replace, number 4, showing on the recommendations. Then we would remove and replace the faded stop sign at Rama. Install cross traffic does not stop under that stop sign. And then also a 40 mile per hour pavement legend at the adjacent to the existing speed limits. And we could also put it, I see we didn't have it at the new one that we're going to put 40, but we could put the pavement legend there as well. And that's it.
So we don't have any speaker slips, so are there any questions or comments from the
So
panel?
just to clarify, the residents' concern was that cars are driving too fast. And so now our recommendation would be to change it from 30 to 40, 35 to 40.
Well, we have to because that's the law.
Okay.
Because when we do the citywide speed survey every 5, 7, or 10 years, that's what was adopted, and that's what the police can give a ticket to. So if they get a ticket and it shows 35, that ticket's thrown out because it's not to our code that we adopted in ordinance. I know, it sounds kind of,
Okay. And so if we decide to do nothing as a committee, then would the 35 mile an hour sign remain?
I assume that needs to be changed regardless.
yeah, it would have to
Okay.
be changed because it is the law. It's not like it was one of our things, said maybe, let's change it. It's, speed limits are guided by the vehicle code as well as the manual uniform traffic control devices, so it's one of those that we need to change.
No other questions?
No questions?
I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. If no further comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve as recommended.
I'll motion it.
Second?
Motion and a second. Neil Mehta,
Approve?
thank you. Robert Ortega,
Approve?
thank you. And Mike Presser.
Approve.
Thank you. So this item is approved 3-0 as recommended. And we'll move on to our final item, item 4D, a traffic review of Belinda Avenue and Merced Avenue. Residents have requested a traffic review of the intersection of Belinda and Merced due to concerns regarding speeding along Belinda Avenue adjacent to Merlinda Elementary School. It was reported that vehicles drive too quickly near the school, and the residents asked for speed feedback signage to be installed along Belinda. After a thorough review of existing field and traffic conditions per the guidelines in the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, the Vehicle Code, the city's guidelines, as well as engineering judgment, a list of options is presented to the Traffic Committee for its review and direction. It's recommended that the Transportation Committee review the report with the city traffic engineer, listen to any public comment, and provide direction. And just for information, from a fiscal impact standpoint, the recommended improvements are estimated at approximately $103,000. And again, this is could be impacted by cost escalation and other factors. At this time, we'll have a presentation again by Jana of TransTech.
Thank you. All right, this is one that has been brought up many times in our traffic commission, and one of it is from our local crossing guard who's at this location. He's not here tonight, but he's been here most commissions asking for this. He is saying that cars, as we all know, cars are impatient and they're not, waiting for pedestrians as they cross the intersection of Merced and Valinda. So he's had to put, I don't know, he says, the stop sign, not the stop, but his body sometimes in place, because cars will also, when they're making the right turn towards the school from Merced, they will, because there's a queue, they will just park in the crosswalk, and it blocks the kids from crossing. And this is a pretty busy school where there's a lot of walkers. It does have 25 school speed signs. The posted speed for Valinda is 40, and it's a minor arterial. Merced is also a minor arterial. And, but the big issue that he had was on Valinda itself. The 85th percentile is 41 miles per hour, but it doesn't show a high 85th, but you have to take into consideration this is at elementary school. So you have cars going 40 and they're not waiting for kids to cross. So we looked at ways that maybe we could make the school site a little safer for pedestrians. We did look at collisions. So here there was six collisions. There was one ped collision which had an injury, but it was in 2023 from a car making a left turn at the Valinda-Merced intersection. So most all of the collisions were at the Valinda-Merced intersection. None of them were right in front of the school or anything. So it's at that intersection seems to be the issue. So when we did the site review, there were a lot of people parking, and then they would either park, get out, walk their kids, or they would park, let their kids out off the curb, and they ran in. The usual when you see schools. So our recommendations is to put the your speed sign in front of the school, going one of each direction, to remind parents of what the speed limit should be. So hopefully they will slow down if it's during the school time. And then to put additional advanced school signage. And then that's in advance, so we would say detail 2 shows that the pedestrians, the neon green with the school. On Merced approaching the intersection, and then also on Valinda. Why did I say Merlinda? That's why we have a typo, sorry. It says Merlinda, it should be Valinda. That's why it confused me, so sorry. So in front of the school. And then also, we need to refresh the school zone pavement legends that is in front of the school. And then also, which is boosts the cost up, is we need to refresh the yellow crosswalk at that intersection. And then can you flip the page, Allison? Number 5 is there's a faded school sign, so we need to do a better ahead sign, detail 3. And then also what we do have is a turning vehicles yield to peds. So he was indicating that it's mainly Merced making a right onto Valinda is the issue. We do have some on the, this exact sign on the mast arm for left turners, but in this case, we would need to put this sign for the right turners, hoping that they will be cognizant that there are pedestrians crossing and they don't stop in the crosswalk and wait. So that would be a new sign. And then, like I said, to replace or refresh the yellow crosswalks. So in this case, as Michael indicated, the cost is high, but it's for, repainting each leg of the cross of the intersection, and then also the your speed signs. I mean, there could be cost savings if the city does the work, or, if you have a lot of things coming in, then there's cost savings in bulk, but this was kind of like the worst case is this is what it is.
Does that take into consideration thermoplast or just regular painting?
No, I think it's, Michael?
It should be based upon thermo.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Based on the your speed sign in other parts of the city,
Yes.
how effective are those in other parts of the city when those are installed there?
They've been effective. It's shown it's effective. It's one of the traffic calming measures that it's in all the traffic manuals that is a step. I mean, you're going to have, sometimes you'll have that one person that wants the kids or something to see how fast they're going. They'll, but most people, when they see that, they kind of say, oh, okay, let me, what am I going, type of thing. Reminds them. So it is pretty effective.
Now, Jana, really quick. So a lot of this stuff seems like it's maintenance. The only new items would be the speed feedback signage, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of signs that are new. We have a couple of school signs and then the right turn
So then
sign.
this would trigger to go to council for
Yeah.
new items.
Yes.
No other questions?
And other
Yeah,
questions?
there were no public speakers, so if there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion and a second for, as recommended.
I'll motion it.
Second?
All right, thank you. Neil Meta,
Approve?
Robert Ortega,
Approve?
and Mike Chrisa.
Approve.
All right, so this item is approved 3-0. Next on our agenda are public comments for any items not on the agenda, and I do have one speaker slip, Mr. Randy Contreras. If you'd like to come up and address the committee, just if you don't mind, state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen. My name is Randy Contreras. I have a concern with a street, Temple Avenue. It's in a residential area between Amar and Azusa Avenue. And it's a street that turns around and there's apartments on one side called Woodbridge Apartments. And on the other side, there's 5 little blocks of residents that go up, and then there's a little park. So what the problem is that I'm seeing is the danger that's posed to children and pedestrians and people that are residents in that area due to people using that street Temple as like a boulevard, okay? And they're driving like hundreds of miles an hour, you know. I guess they're trying to avoid the traffic on Azusa Avenue or Ramar, so they cut through there. But they're driving at ridiculous amounts of speed, and there's a stop sign in between Amar and Azusa Avenue on Temple, where the park, where the kids cross the street to go to the park or whatever, but they're not taking heed. And that's the problem we're having, that's posing a problem to, the danger of children and pedestrians and so forth, et cetera. And even at one point, if you guys will remember, somebody was driving so fast, they knocked down the stop sign, the red stop sign that was like in the middle of the street, trying to get people to stop. So they knocked it down. Whether it was an intentional accident, I don't know how it occurred. But anyways, it's posing a problem, and I don't want to see any children get hurt. There's a lot of children in the apartments that go to school, and then there's a Catholic school right there as well. And sometimes it's even hard for residents to pull out of their driveway or get in the driveway if they have to turn left and stuff because there's so many cars. And so my proposal to the solution would be if they could put some speed bumps since they're ignoring the stop sign. Maybe it's about a quarter of a mile, I would say. If we could put like maybe 4 speed bumps, because most residential areas where there's children do have speed bumps. I shouldn't say most, but I do know a lot of them do, and it helps out, especially it's a narrow street. It's not a boulevard like some people use it as. It's only 2-lane street, one lane and 1 lane the other way. So, I think it would be very beneficial and very safe and less dangerous if some speed bumps were put along that way. That would be my recommendation, I'm just coming here as a citizen just for concern, I have a daughter, so she's 11 years old. And there's a lot of kids that live in those apartments. So that, that's what I wanted to bring to the table.
Thank you, Mr. Contreras. We're not in a position tonight to approve or disapprove
Yes,
speed humps.
understandable.
But we've certainly have received the request. So My recommendation to the committee is that the city go ahead and initiate a traffic calming review along Temple and look at any improvements that could possibly done at the stop signs.
Michael, I think we've done a study in this area, and I remember a few months back, we spoke about this area in particular and approved to do some sort of improvements to that area. So if we can look back at that traffic committee
The only
and see what.
improvement, I'm sorry for cutting you off. The only improvement that I seen is they put the stop signs on a street that goes up to the park. So, and there's signs posted, please watch for children crossing. There's signs posted, there's stop signs there. So the improvement, if there was an improvement, if this is the improvement you're talking about, they put an additional red stop sign, but in the same, street crossing. So, I mean, I don't know if that was the answer to the problem that was posed, I don't know.
We'll look into that.
Okay, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
So I think, thank you for that, Robert. So what we can do is investigate and get back to you if it's been looked at previously and share that information if it has. If we have not looked at it previously, what we'll do is move forward, starting an investigation for the request that you've made from a
Okay.
traffic calming perspective.
Appreciate it.
And obviously, we'll get back to you over time in terms of how we're progressing with that review.
Okay.
If the committee would support that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will move forward as such. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
At this time, that was the only public comment. So at this time, are there any comments or concerns from our committee members?
No comments.
No comment.
Thank you. If not, we'll adjourn tonight's meeting. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, November 19th at 6 PM in the same location. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.